Imagination is a product of your mind. It is the ability of your mind to be able to visualize, picture, envision, or imagine situations and things. As a kid, you used your imagination in playing house. You imagined yourself as either the father or mother and your toy dolls as your children. Your house was a big box that you got from the local appliance dealer that once contained a refrigerator or stove. Or remember the time you laid down on the soft, cool, green grass and looked up at the big, fluffy, white clouds on a warm summer day and imagined what this cloud or that looked like. Some looked like big elephants or dogs and others looked like planes. Remember? This is your imagination at work. As an adult, you constantly use your imagination to imagine what an interview is going to be like with the new boss, or what an appointment with the dentist is going to feel like. If you have a birthday coming up, you try to imagine what gifts are going to be given to you and who will send cards. You constantly employ your imagination in your life. Your imagination is a very powerful force in your life. In fact, your imagination is the most powerful force in your life today. Disagree? Well, if you do, then let's look at some examples. Many will say that your will is the strongest force in your life, but this can be easily disproved. In any contest between the will and the imagination always wins. For example, let's take a catwalk high above the factory floor. The catwalk is only 2 feet wide and there are guardrails at waist height running the 50-foot length. Can you cross it in safety and ease? Sure, for you have the added safety measure of the guardrails. Now, let's take away the guardrails. Has your ease in crossing changed any? The catwalk is still quite wide enough to cross with ease, but when you take away the guardrails, your imagination starts to go to work. You look at the long drop below and without the rails, you start to imagine what would happen if you slip. It will be hard to convince your imagination that you can cross without any danger. You find that you are truly scared at walking on a 2-foot wide catwalk suspended 100 feet in the air. If you attempt to force your will over yourself, this will only create more tension, and begin to cause your body to shake and sweat to appear on your forehead, and you will be totally unable to cross. Your imagination wins. Another example of how your imagination has been used as a powerful force in your life is the fear that many people have of a place called hell. Churches have long used the idea of hell to keep people in line. In your imagination, you believe that if you are not good and do exactly what the church says, you will pay for it by going to a very, very hot, sulphurous, brimstone place, and there suffer eternal torment. If you truly believe this and have convinced your imagination of this, then you will not do any wrong, if possible. Your imagination is even stronger than the sexual forces in your life. It is in your imagination that a particular type of man or woman is attractive to you. Imagination must come first, before the sexual forces can be activated. So, your imagination is dominant even over your love life. As you have just seen in these examples presented here, and many more that come to mind, the imagination is a very powerful force. Whatever you imagine to be true in your life, your imagination will ensure that it is so in your life. If you feel that an unsupported walk will be very dangerous, Then your imagination will conjure up the most dismal of pictures in your mind's eye, of you lying broken up on the floor far, far below. The idea, then, is to learn to use your imagination constructively. You must learn how to manipulate your imagination to achieve materialization. With your imagination, you are going to learn to imagine whatever it is that you desire to happen. To begin with, you should have by this time become quite proficient at visualization. The hows of this was discussed in topic 32, exercise 4. If you haven't been doing this exercise, then refer back to it and begin doing so at once, until proficiency is obtained. Whatever it is that you want to happen, you must first be able to visualize it. Once you have visualized it clearly in your mind's eye, then you must continue to add to the visualization using your imagination and give it substance. Let's begin with an easy example. You want to create an apple. First, you would have already visualized the apple itself. You have pictured, in your mind, a bright, beautiful apple. Then with your imagination, you will continue to add substance to it by adding the color to its skin. Now, you have a bright, beautiful, red apple. Then you will, in your imagination, see the insides of the apple, and how beautifully yellow they are. Then, go on remembering how delicious and sweet they taste, and even how fragrant it smells. In your imagination, hold this total picture of a bright, red, yellowish insides, sweet tasting and smelling apple. This is how you will use your imagination in creative visualization. But you don't have the apple yet, do you? You need something more than just your imagination alone. You need the added ingredient of invocation.